You're watching Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Dress for the job you want. I'm on vacation. Let's get into it with the lead. You know what? Hindsight, I should have seen that coming. Should have known that.
No, I'm happy you did that.
Oilers Nation every day. I am out of office. Avoid the grind. Tyler Yaremchuk. This is my co-host, Charlie Brown.
Good afternoon, Tyler.
I don't know what I was expecting you to say. I thought maybe you'd be in character for like a second.
Hello, Tyler.
Oh my God. That is so funny. All right. Welcome into Oilers Nation every day. A very spooky edition of the show. Kennedy did a great job decorating our studio. Oh my God, there's a skeleton back there. Yes. Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome into the show live from a very nicely decorated sports closet studio. Erne.
Santa's here as well, baby.
Erne racked up 4 speeding tickets on his way to work while wearing this.
I really did. I got a lot of lucks driving in this morning as I was ripping past everybody. But it's Halloween. We're having fun at the office. It's a great day. I love Halloween.
Yep. And we are dressed very seriously because we have a very serious piece of breaking news to start the show. I heard Waz say it outside the office. I want to confirm it. Yes. The Edmonton Oilers have placed Adam Erne on waivers. Charlie, the Erne era is over. How can we be screwing around having fun when Adam Erne's on waivers?
It was such a roller coaster of emotions going through me at that moment. Do I feel bad? No. Should I feel bad? Maybe a little bit. The man has lost his job, essentially.
No, he'll still get paid and make a lot of money.
It's a two-way deal, though.
Still a decent amount of coin.
Goodbye, Adam Erne. We will never forget you. But we forgot Ryan Murray, too.
Yeah,
so
I might forget.
I'll probably forget him in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Very interested to see what the corresponding move is for the Edmonton Oilers and all of this. I think the people are going to want Raph Lavoie. I think that is a very obvious one. The Oilers did not. They just officially put out that Ernie's been placed on waivers. They didn't announce the corresponding move yet. I think it's one of two. It's Raph Lavoie or it's Lane Peterson. On the heels of Lavoie winning AHL Player of the Week, I think it would make a lot of sense. You're also sending down a winger, but with Janmark hurt, you know you're going to be going 11-7, so the center winger thing maybe doesn't matter all that much. Lane Peterson is also a very interesting option. Get a right shot center in the mix here on the bottom 6, you know?
Yeah, I kind of thought Lane Peterson as well. I think he actually might be a little bit ahead of Lavoie in this. He's having a good start to the year, too. He is having a good start to the year, and so is Lavoie, obviously. But I just wonder if they'll give Lavoie like another week.
Joel says Lane Peterson has a lower body injury.
Does he? Good.
Good for him.
Should have probably researched that.
Yeah. It's almost like we didn't do any prep for today's show. We spent the whole morning getting our Halloween costumes ready.
The office is prepped.
Yeah, we did this.
Yeah, we did this. We didn't look up who's healthy. Studio looks cool. That's all we cared about. A lot of people saying Sam Gagner in the chat.
Oh, no. Sam Gagner shouldn't play for the Oilers this year.
Well, you hold your horses. He can play for the Oilers this year. I think he can be fine for them. I just think you want to get him up to speed a little bit more. We saw the Brandon Sutter thing, right? Hadn't played hockey in a while, comes into camp, looks slow. I think with Gagner, give him a month here.
Do you actually think, though, that Sam Gagner will be able to have the foot speed to keep up in the NHL right now? Because I do not at all.
Son of a gun, he probably can't be any slower than Derek Ryan or Adam Erne.
No.
So I think there could be a spot for him at some point this season. I agree, though, that it is not right now. It's one of Lane Peterson or Raphael Lavoie. Let us know your take. Maybe we could throw a poll in the Finning Cat
You just
YouTube
read my
chat.
mind. I just put the poll in.
Just put it in there?
I just pressed enter.
Boys are dialed in.
Look at that.
I get ready for an ad read. You put a poll in the chat, the Finning Cat YouTube chat, brought to you by Finning Canada, your local dealer for cat equipment, built to handle work in Western Canada. For heavy equipment on the job site, visit the Cat Rental Store, chat with knowledgeable staff, get what you need, buy parts, rent tools, power solutions. They got it all. Finning.com. Go find a location near you. I think there's one on the west end of Edmonton. So there you go.
There
Liam.
you go.
Good News says we need Drake, as in Kajula, not the pop star.
Also injured.
He is also banged up. Right now, we have Gagne, Peterson, Lavoie, and other as your options. Raph Lavoie running away with 70% of the vote in our poll. If you missed the first minute of the show, Adam Erne has been placed on waivers. It is also worth noting we don't know the health or status of Matthias Janmark. I believe three players didn't skate today for the Oilers.
Yes, Janmark, McDavid, and Kane.
Evander Kane, I don't think there's anything injury-wise there. Might just be a maintenance kind of day. The McDavid one is mildly concerning, I will admit.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think it is at all. I just think...
I mean, Liam, they brought him back on the close end of 1 to 2 weeks for a 1 to 2 week injury, and now he's not at the first practice.
But it's not like unusual for guys to miss a practice, especially when you don't play until Thursday, and today is also like a season ticket holder's skate.
Also, he's probably very hungover from their party they had last night. The guy earned a night off, I think, right?
That is interesting that they did skate today after their Halloween party last night.
I know. I thought that was crazy.
But
late start.
Yeah, late start, I guess, sure. I don't know. The McDavid thing has me a little like... No,
if he doesn't skate...
Tomorrow
would be Wednesday, and they play Thursday. Yeah, if he doesn't skate tomorrow, I'll do something. And it's like, okay, that's a bit weird.
Yep. Naeem says McDavid just needs a couple days rest. Maybe this is a little bit of a load management thing. It's like, okay, we did the thing, played you in the Heritage Classic, and now take a day off, make sure you're 100%. No one in the chat seems to be as worried as me. So that's good. I'll trust the chat.
And McDavid didn't seem worried either.
No, and he played great, and he didn't look like anything was bothering him.
Did we see McDavid's costume last night? I have a bunch of photos here of the Oilers costumes if we want to take a look. But I could not find McDavid.
No, we didn't see McDavid yet. But before we get to that, I saw a video before the Heritage Classic of McDavid from Bleacher Report. Did you see that video?
No.
I only saw it this morning, which I thought was really weird. But he spoke about the last time he played in the Heritage Classic. And we spoke about it yesterday, how like McDavid has been like very open in his like personality wise last week, I would say. And yesterday he was saying how he was reliving a moment from the last Heritage Classic. He took a penalty in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And he said he just sat in the box and just like embraced the entire moment and like looked around. And he's like, how do you word it? He was like, it was just amazing to be a part of it. And I'm like so happy to be a part of it again.
Interesting comment here on Facebook from Nicholas, who says, if you send him a message that says fund me, he's going to bless you right now. So that's what's going on over on our Facebook chat.
Yeah,
not as cool as
hard
the
times.
YouTube
He's
chat.
got you.
Yeah. Lance said, "Ooh, Tyler, rookie mistake." I'm not sure what my rookie mistake was. Maybe it's just the Halloween party or whatever. I didn't see what Connor McDavid dressed up as, but we do. AB, we got some photos. We can do a little run through a bunch of Harry Potter themed stuff.
Yeah.
How many characters can you name there, Tyler?
Dobby. Harry.
Snape. Someone on the right is Snape.
That's Nuge. Connor Brown
was Harry Potter.
Ron Weasley.
Ron Weasley. I believe Harry Potter is one of the wives of the girlfriend.
I think that's Nuge's wife, to be completely honest.
Okay.
And then Dumbledore at the back there. I can't really see who that is.
Oh, I think that was Cody Ceci.
That was Cody Ceci.
Long blonde hair, Zach Hyman.
And that is Draco Malfoy's dad.
Oh, yeah, good call.
I believe that's Jack Campbell's wife, who is a
Golden Snitch.
Golden Snitch.
You've
watched them.
Quiz me about Quidditch. Stuart Skinner and wife. Or
he
fiance.
Finds a way to look even better.
Yeah,
that's a good look right there for our boys.
That's a smart. I am someone who does not enjoy dressing up for Halloween. It's not something I'm crazy. Like, I don't really get into it.
Shocker.
I know, right? It's the most Yaremchuk take ever. That is something I can get behind. Just wear a good looking damn suit. You're good.
And then continuing on, dude, I think Jack Campbell just absolutely killed the commitment.
You see the video of him driving to the event?
No.
Oh, his fiance posted it. So funny.
Like that would have taken hours to put together.
I love Evander Kane's Instagram story. Just where am I? Some good stuff. This was a video, and he's just flicking his nose.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Ryan McLeod here.
What is he? Shark Boy Lava Girl?
Yes.
See, me and Liam, we just talked about this before the show. I had no idea what this is or was. It's a 2005 3D movie.
That's right in our era. You don't remember seeing that movie?
I remember Spy Kids. I said I was a Spy Kids kind of guy.
I remember Spy Kids too.
So there's that. And then the last one I have here, The Beckhams.
That one's pretty good. Yeah, I can't believe we didn't see Connor.
I know. If anyone in the chat has seen a photo, please let me know. I've been trying to find one.
I like the Beckhams one. I think that's very funny because Draisaitl got the kick in the puck thing the other day, didn't he? Playing with a broken stick. It's quite ironic.
Itself. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, that's all the stuff I had. They looked like they had a great time. It looked like fun.
Yeah. Mark says he believes McDavid was Bam Bam because Lauren was Pebbles.
Bam. Oh, the Flintstones.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yabba-dabba-doo!
Flip it.
That was good. That was good.
That's a good one. Jack Campbell is a free elf. Sure. Yep.
That makes sense.
Means? I know. I've seen it. Okay. I know the
Just making sure.
So yeah, it looks like the Oilers had some fun last night. It feels like things are maybe coming together here a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the first comments we got on the day was the Heritage Classic is going to be, it was from Richard, who said the Heritage Classic is going to be a turning point on a rocky start to the season. I think you have the Heritage Classic, and then you have a Halloween party where it seems like they had a lot of fun together. Feels like the vibes are starting to turn here, and I'm all about the vibes, Liam.
You got to get a good vibe check.
And look at you. You can tell you're about the vibes.
And I think, like, it's good timing for this to kind of happen in a weird way. Like, McDavid gets hurt, but he gets back in time for the Heritage Classic. Yeah. That's a good mojo. You have the Heritage Classic itself, and then you could just feel the ideas of, like, McDavid commented multiple times about his family being in town. I'm sure multiple other players felt that way too. And then a couple of days later, you get the Halloween party, and you kind of all come together from that. And then today, there's a minor thing to it, but there's like the season ticket holder practice.
Yep.
It's like good vibes all around. You got a few days here to keep that mojo high because they don't play. And now you face a Dallas Stars team who's obviously very good, and they need to have that mojo and just the morale of the team lifted.
Yeah, I am with you 100%. We're going to be joined by Stephen Ellis in a little bit, but first I wanted to do a little maybe like outside the Oilers. It's vibes related though. I think we have the Pacific Division standings we can look at for right now, and this is going to be brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant and Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The Vegas Golden Knights, I mean, yeah, okay, they are obviously running away with this shit. It's not even close right now. It's honestly like when you go 9-0-1 through a stretch of hockey, the only way the Oilers are catching them is if there is a stretch in the season where the Golden Knights go 2-5-1 and the Oilers rattle off points in 10 straight. Like it's a significant gap right now when you look at the way today's NHL is.
Yeah,
you're 14 points back of them already. It's
they're
crazy.
running away with it, to say the least. But the Oilers haven't played Vegas yet. Who knows? Maybe the Oilers win all 4 games against Vegas this year, and that's what 4 times 2, 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, confirmed. Yep.
That narrows your gap to 6, and then they lose a couple other games, and the Oilers get hot. Like, it looks out of reach right now. And Vegas is obviously legit, probably the best team in the NHL. Yeah.
I'm saying
probably. I mean, defending Cup champs, and they haven't lost in regulation.
Yeah, and proven.
So yeah, it's
this might be a dumb question. How many times do you play your division?
4 or 3?
3 or 4 times.
Because it's not set always, right?
No, it's
so the only way we're catching Vegas, I feel like, is if we beat them head to head every time, and that run you're talking about, we play them twice during that run or something like that.
Stuff's gonna happen, right? Like Vegas, as good as they are known as like a team that does get banged up quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like Mark Stone's not playing 82 games this season. Martinez is a guy that's in and out of the lineup all the time too. Like it's Jack Eichel's had his injury history. Like obviously every team is gonna go through cycles. The Oilers just lost McDavid for 2 games. Everything will kind of balance out, and obviously Vegas is going to lose games. We'll see, but they are the best.
Hot take.
Yeah, I know they are the best team in the division right now.
Yeah, I wanted to take this though and give my rankings based purely on vibes. Again, it's early, right? Like we're only 10% of the way, 12% of the way through the season. There is a lot of time left. These standings are going to change a lot over the next little bit. So while right now, again, can we just have it maybe quickly one more time, the standings? Vegas number 1, Vancouver is sitting 2nd, LA, Anaheim, Seattle, then Edmonton, Calgary, San Jose. That is not the vibes ranking. There are different vibes in different markets right now. Yeah. It's not my true power rankings of the Pacific. So instead, I'm going to give mine, and I'm going to let you try to poke holes in it and tell me where I'm wrong, Liam.
All right.
You can flash up my Pacific Division power rankings. Number one, it is the Vegas Golden Knights, obviously. No denying it. I am not going to lie. I thought long and hard about putting the Edmonton Oilers at number 2.
I'm not going to lie to you either. When I typed this out, I put the Edmonton Oilers at number 2 just out of assumption.
Yeah. They're struggling still, right? 2-5-1 is still an ugly record. If the Oilers can win, their next 2 games, I think they're back to number 2 here. But it's hard to fully ignore the LA Kings record. And another thing that's hard to ignore is just the fact that their goaltending is actually starting to maybe round into form a little bit here. It wasn't a good start to the season for them, but Cam Talbot now, he's had a couple of games where he's only allowed 1 goal. His save percentage is getting up to a respectable .905. Goals against average is sub 3. Maybe he actually won't be as bad as I thought he was. It'll be tough for it to hold up. I think that is a legitimate concern. I'm not willing to say that the Kings goaltending isn't a concern at all. Like Phoenix Copley has had a terrible start to the season. Mm-hmm. But Cam Talbot's maybe not as bad as I thought he was. So I have Edmonton 1, Vegas 1, LA 2, Edmonton 3.
Yeah, I think the first and second. So just to clarify, this is based off today,
right now,
and vibes
kind of going forward, like power rankings.
Okay, I would honestly have the Oilers at 4.
Who do you have above them?
Vancouver.
I would have Vancouver there right now, and I'm trying to be as neutral as I can in this.
Yeah,
because I do think ultimately the Oilers will be better than every team but Vegas in this division when it's all said and done. But at the moment, vibes can't be better anywhere else in this division but Vancouver. You could maybe even argue 2 at a push for them.
Me, it goes Vegas, Vancouver, LA, Oilers could flip-flop 3 and 4. But in Vancouver right now, they are turning into at least the start they've wanted. They're playing the Rick Tocchet way. You're seeing D-men coming back. They're getting Soucy back. They're getting all these guys. Tyler Myers is starting to score goals. He scored a sick one the other night. They're drunk off the Kool-Aid over there, and I'm a little jealous, to be completely honest.
Here's my beef with the Canucks. Right. And it's a little bit of my beef with the LA Kings, too, and this is why I almost didn't want to put the Kings here.
Okay. 2
of the luckiest teams in the NHL right now. They are both at 5-on-5, shooting above 12%. LA's at an even 12. Vancouver's at a 12.82. Mm-hmm. You know how many teams last year finished with a shooting percentage above 12%?
Less than 8.
0. You know how many teams finished with a shooting percentage above 10%? Never mind 12?
3.
1. Seattle Kraken.
Oh, that adds up.
They are incredibly lucky right now. Vancouver's getting lucky in their crease. I know Thatcher Demko's elite, but he's probably off to a hair of an unsustainable start. Shooting percentage is way too high. That thing's going to drop at least 3% throughout the rest of the season. I think the Canucks start is unsustainable. I think they could be a fringe playoff team. I think that is possible. I think they can grab that 7 or 8 seed in the West. They're not what they are right now.
I agree. But I think right now, if a power ranking needs today, then I think Vancouver's over Edmonton.
Start of the season's been great, but I think a month from now, like the way they got off to this start, I guess is what I'm saying, is unsustainable. It's not a start to the season that I'm looking at and going, bang, they're back.
Yep.
This core's ready to take a step forward. It's just not. I would still wager a significant amount of money on the Edmonton Oilers being above the Vancouver Canucks in the standings, not just by the end of the year, by the end of November.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, I don't hate that, Tyler. I agree. It's just the vibes right now for me is Vancouver, but Edmonton vibes were pretty good this weekend. So we're coming back,
feeling
baby.
High on life right now.
Thank you for clarifying.
Can you pull that back up, Erne? Thank you. So I think the top 4 is what it is. Just whichever one.
In whatever order. Then the bottom 4, let's get into a debate about this. I go Seattle, Anaheim, Calgary in 7, San Jose in 8. First off, the San Jose Sharks might not win 20 games this year.
They might be the worst team ever.
Honestly, they've only scored more than 1 goal in one of their 9 games.
Their points leaders is incredible. It's Thomas Hertl, and then the guy they got from New Jersey last year, and then everyone else just has 2 points. Thomas Hertl only has 5.
It's like Fabian Zetterlund or whatever. Yeah, it's terrible, dude. They have scored this year 9 goals. Second worst in the league is St. Louis at 13, and St. Louis has played 2 less games. Like, it's ridiculous. They've allowed 34 goals on the year. They don't generate really much of anything, and that's considering the fact that they're losing in most games, so score effects should be in their favor. The Sharks are junk. Seattle at 5, I just think this is who they are. And it's an incredibly mediocre blue line, an incredibly mediocre forward group, and goaltending that's substantially below average.
I think so too. I know we've had our duels over the Seattle Kraken this season, but I think they're just a 4 or 5 team in the division. I don't think they're anything better than that. They're very mediocre, and some nights they're going to score 6, sometimes they're going to allow 6.
Tyler, I can't wrap my head around this. I'm looking at the San Jose right now. They're 32nd in goals, 32nd in shots, and 32nd in shooting percentage. Just their average 1.0 goals a game.
Well,
that's insane. Oh, my beard.
So you go and you look at
look at me.
Go look at what they did last year. And I mean, remember, they were junk last year. You really need you wanted your Dr. Pepper.
Well, I was trying to do it subtly, and then you directed the attention to me.
The San Jose Sharks last year finished with 60 points. The only reason that they were in the 60-point range is because they lost 16 games in overtime. They were 22, 44, and 16. You take a 100-point defenseman, the Norris Trophy winner, off their team. Yeah, those 16 OT losses, they're all losses for me, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll crack 50 points this year.
What's the lowest ever? I know Colorado is probably down there.
Colorado, the year before they made it back to the playoffs, finished with 48 points.
And that's the lowest since. No one's done worse.
Well, you want to do cap era?
Yeah, because what would that be? 97?
0506.
We got to be up there somewhere, right?
Yeah. So lowest in the cap era. Oh, I didn't put the right filter on this. I got it. We'll do just in the 80 game seasons, right? Or 82 game seasons. We're not going to do the lockout short years and stuff. The worst is Colorado in 16-17 with 48 points. The Sabres had a couple of years. They were in the low 50s. Every other season's been above 55. So in the cap era, 18-19 seasons, there's only been 3 times where teams have been below 55 points. Book it. The Sharks are doing it this year.
I'm with you. And I think the crazy thing about them is, one, sometimes you can be too bad.
Mm-hmm.
And they are too bad. Eklund is not going to get better this season. They don't really have a ton of other young guys on the team, looking through. What's the one first-round pick they have who's now injured? No. The other one.
Thomas Bordeleau. Yeah.
He's a first-round pick for them. So it's like those 2 guys, and it's just like a random assortment of everybody else. And when you look at it as well, it's like, okay, no one's going to want Kevin LeBanc at 4.725, even if you retain 50%. I don't think he's worth that much money. Mike Hoffman has just been kind of an issue his entire career, right? Or related.
You're going to try flip him at 50% retained to the deadline.
But then, what are they even going to get?
3rd round pick.
Exactly. But you look at some of these teams, who was it? St. Louis Blues. It's a little bit of a different situation, but they realized a couple of years ago that they were going to be junk or needed to kind of retool a little bit, and then got a bunch of 1st round picks. And I think they picked 3 times last year. I just don't know why teams can't get the idea of we probably shouldn't sign Thomas Hertl for 8 years.
Yeah. That made no sense.
Oh, it's so dumb. So dumb. I just wish sometimes these teams would just have any kind of common sense. And loyalty is too much in the NHL sometimes. And the San Jose Sharks are a perfect example of that.
Yeah, they went on all those runs with the Thornton Marlowe era and then paid some guys just for way too long. So their pending UFAs this year are Barabanov, maybe gets you a little bit. Jacob McDonald doesn't get you a ton. Capo Kakinen probably doesn't get you anything. And up front, Ryan Carpenter, no. Anthony Duclair, I think they want to keep him is what I've heard. Mike Hoffman, if you can retain 50, maybe, but that's your last retained salary spot, so you can't do anything else, right?
Yeah, they're so restricted.
They're so bad.
So restricted.
Okay. To finish up this conversation, the one area we didn't talk about is the fact that in my power rankings, I have the Ducks ahead of the Flames. Here's why. Again, this is not a standings prediction or anything. This is like a power rankings of who's having a good year. The Flames will likely finish above the Ducks in the standings. If the Flames finish with 85 points, it is a failure of a season. You need to burn that thing down, rip it down to the studs, get some top 10 picks, and fully rebuild. The core's never going to get it done. If the Ducks finish with 85 points, it's
hell of a year.
Buffalo Sabres 2.0, young core's ready to take a step forward. Mason McTavish, Trevor Zegras, although he's not playing good right now. All these guys, you're feeling great in Anaheim with 85 points. If those two teams finish with the identical record, even if the Ducks are within 5 points of the Flames, great season for one, terrible season for the other.
I think the Ducks love their new head coach too.
I think they like Cronin.
I think
basis
purely of vibes, they've got good vibes.
Yeah. And as much as I don't stand for abuse of an official, I think when you have a young team and you're the new coach, going out and showing them like, hey, I'll fight for you guys. Yeah. I think it says something.
Me too. I like the Anaheim Ducks. I like a lot of the plays they have. I like the veteran group they have. Like they've done actually a decent job. Last season was a hiccup, but we all know what Dallas Eakins can do to a team.
Yeah, sorry, and then Dallas Eakins loves to go up and be like, well, I wasn't the problem. Come on.
Me?
Think about
little me.
All right, there you go. There's our Pacific Division power rankings brought to you by Sherwood Ford, the Giant, our giant Pacific Division power rankings. Let's get to the Star Mechanical guest line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more about them by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca. It is always a pleasure to welcome our boy, Stephen Ellis, into the show. Stephen, what's cooking, man? Are you fired up for Halloween?
I forgot my costume. I was Venom this year. It's hiding somewhere in a bag. I forgot to wear it. But you guys, and Tyler,
I got you. Don't worry. There it is.
There you go.
Tyler, I saw you in DFO Live this morning. I have no idea what you were doing there, but that was nothing. So, yeah.
So I talked about this on DFO Live a little bit. I'm not big into the whole dressing up thing. So all of my costumes from the last 4 or 5 years are just couples costumes with Amber and myself. So like that one, I was the solar system and then she was a rocket. Makes sense. Year before that, I was a lumberjack. She was a tree. Makes sense. But when I'm just by myself in those costumes, it's like the worst thing ever, you know?
And if the viewers didn't get to see it earlier today, I really like this one from our boy Frankie right here.
Great.
The commitment with the blood, the best. I love Halloween.
Yeah. So you're a big Halloween guy, Stephen?
No, I can't. Like honestly, I've had the same Venom costume for like 4 or 5 years now at this point.
Smart. I like that. I don't hate that at all. All right, let's dig into some hockey talk. I just gave my Pacific Division power rankings a little bit, and one team we talked about was the San Jose Sharks. The question was brought to my attention a couple days ago on DFO Live that are they potentially so bad that prospects can't properly develop in their lineup? Do you agree with that line of thinking? What do you make of this Sharks team who it's basically Eklund, Bordelot, and like a bunch of bad old players?
Yeah. I think kind of the results kind of speak for themselves. You look at William Eklund, a guy that could take a lot of opportunities out of this and could play a lot of ice time, and he's got some like 2 points already this year. Bordelot, I'm not super high on, and he hasn't played that great. It's kind of funny. The guy who probably was their best prospect in preseason and then the early part of the season was Henry Thrun, and he's playing in the AHL right now. So I kind of agree with that. I'm always someone where I want players to take as long as they need to develop. But in San Jose's case, it's like you can put a prospect on the top pairing or on the top line, and it's like, well, why not give them those opportunities? But when you're just getting sheltered, when you're just getting crushed in your own zone, like it doesn't really benefit any player. So I do agree with that line, I think.
I have prospect questions. But
Let's talk some prospects.
How good is Celebrini? Like he has been off to a fantastic start, but like, is he the real deal? You think?
In terms of the way he plays the game, like there's a bit of Bergeron, there's a bit of Jonathan Toews to him, and with the numbers we're seeing out of Celebrini right now, potentially one of the greatest, draft eligible seasons. And we said that last year about Adam Fantilli, but we're looking at Celebrini is probably going to break the goal count set by Jonathan Toews in 05-06. I think it was 22 goals he scored in his draft eligible year. And we are going to see that kind of crushed by Celebrini this year. When you look at Fantilli, he was an 04 in an 05 draft because he was a late birthday. But for Celebrini, he's an early 06 in an 06 draft. So he had to put the work in. He had to get that extra work throughout last year, throughout the summer to make sure he could qualify to play college a year early. And it was really good for his development. He's, I believe, the top scorer in the league. So for somebody who came off of shoulder surgery, we didn't know what type of level he was going to be able to play at. He's playing as good as we expected. So he's not at the level of Connor Bedard, obviously. That's its own thing. But he's going to be, I think, remembered as one of the more reliable two-way centers that we've seen in this year, in recent first overall picks. So I'm a huge fan. This guy would go first overall in a lot of drafts, no question about it. And like Cole Eiserman's damn good too. So you want to be bad this year. Not in the same level you want to be bad like last year with Bedard, but it's still a good year to be a terrible hockey team like the San Jose Sharks.
Similar to the McDavid year, right? Like the next season with Matthews, it was like, oh, okay, maybe we're not getting like the generational McDavid level, but still there was a ton of hype about that Matthews draft and was still like a franchise-changing player at the top, right?
Look at Toronto right now, and he's obviously what he is right now. But it's again, Celebrini is going to be so good. I don't think he's as flashy as we've seen other first overall picks, but he just gets the job done. He's safe. He's smart. He's going to win quite a few awards in his career.
The U17s is coming up this week, right?
Yes.
So I just noticed this. Does Canada, don't they usually take 3 teams, but now there's only 2 teams going?
Yep, two teams this year that kind of want to consolidate it because like the Americans keep coming and just stomping on them. And last year we looked at Cole Eiserman and James Hagens just putting up insane numbers even in the gold medal game. So they're looking at this and saying like, let's actually put competitive teams out. I think it hurts some players with some visibility, but it's like they didn't need 3 teams. That was a little ridiculous.
Yeah. What is there anyone on the Canadian teams you're looking at the most? I mean, Gavin McKenna's pretty good.
Yeah. Gavin McKenna, like obviously if you guys don't know, he's Connor Bedard's cousin. So like, he comes from kind of a good bloodline there. And I think a lot of people will point to his stats when he kind of really got on the board, which was the Canada Winter Games a few months ago. He had like 31 points in 7 games, but he was playing against teams that were like almost single A quality at a certain point. So it was like you kind of expected that, but the numbers he's putting up now, he could be one of the very few players in their 16-year-old age group to get 100 points in the WHL season. Connor Bedard obviously did it, but you know the numbers are very close to what we saw from Bedard. So he's a 2026 prospect, so we're still a while away from like seeing how good he is. But just based off of what we've seen the last few years, like this guy is the real deal. And if you don't follow prospects closely, it feels like we probably say that a lot because again the Bedard hype was so high, but like Gavin McKenna is putting up numbers that very few major junior prospects have been able to do in 20, 30 years since scoring kind of went down. So he's legit. He's going to be the guy I'm keeping the closest eye
on. You're our prospect guy, Daily Faceoff. You're also a big fantasy hockey guy. You do the Puck Pulleys pod with our boy Matt Larkin. And one of the topics you guys handled this week, Halloween themed, the scariest slumping players so far. I don't think there's an answer outside of Jonathan Huberdeau. Like, again, it's very easy on an Oilers Nation show to want to rip the Flames, and it's fun to do so. But, like, he was invisible in that Battle of Alberta, and he's coming off an invisible season. I was an investor in him. I picked him up in a couple of leagues thinking, like, this guy, even if he can just bounce back to get a little bit closer to what he was a few seasons ago, he's an 80-point guy that you were getting at a really solid 8 AP. I've lost faith in him.
And to a bigger extent, there's also Nazem Kadri, who's probably been even worse, 2 points this year. At least Huberdeau's got 5, but with Huberdeau, it's just, last year you can kind of chalk it up to a new environment. Obviously, a lot of things did not go well for Calgary. This year, it's like, okay, we saw the interview with Frank. He looked like he was going with a fresh mind, new coach, maybe some new hope for this Flames team to kind of step up. And it's just not working. It's not working for anyone. No one's producing at a high level right now. Blake Coleman is one of the highest scoring players. Adam Ruzicka is up there too. So, but to see Huberdeau, Matt and I kind of talked about on the show, like, I think we're just fully kind of like, I think we're both giving up on him. And then you see Kadri again, who goes from like 86, 87 points 2 years ago in Colorado, just drops like 30 points last year. And this year he's on pace for 30 or 40 points total. So it's just a disaster for 2 of their higher guys that they brought in 2 summers ago.
Yeah, Kadri at least, to me, was a bit more predictable because it was like, okay, he can't play on the Colorado Avalanche power play anymore. Like, that was an area where he scooped up a lot of points. You're going to a far less talented forward group. Outside of those 2, is there anyone else you had on the scary bad territory?
Blake Wheeler was kind of a guy that we thought that maybe okay, it's going to make Winnipeg look kind of stupid for buying him out. They needed that cap space, so it made sense. But in terms of, on ice production, we thought, okay, he could probably sit in the top 6 and produce. No, not at all. It's not looking good there. So last I checked, I don't know if he got a point last night. I didn't watch that game, but he was entering the battle against Winnipeg without a point. So just, I don't get it. I don't understand with Blake Wheeler. It's like he still had over 50 points last year. He still had this, he wasn't worth the money he was making there. They had to make a move, but he still had the value to produce, and it's just not working for the Rangers right now. So meanwhile, like Lafreniere is looking good, but Blake Wheeler is just someone I hoped for so much more. I was banking on a nice little kind of rebound season, and we're not seeing it.
Yeah, you were thinking going to New York there. Still at worst, he'd hopefully be like a 45-point guy, and it doesn't look like that. That is going to work. Rangers red hot, by the way, a perfect 5-0 on their rip through Seattle and Western Canada. You good?
I got one more.
There you go.
I just want to prediction.
Yep.
Every team in the Atlantic Division has a 500 or better record besides Buffalo's 4.
They're one game off.
Yeah, so pretty legit. Who are your top 3 teams? Because I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are a top 3 team, right?
Probably not.
If I'm looking down the line here, it's Boston, Toronto, and Tampa. They're getting Vasilevsky back. Jonas Johansson's. It's fun watching him play, but once Vasilevsky comes back, that team's going to push up. So nice to see what Detroit's doing. I expect them to fall, and Montreal fans should be terrified because this team should be going for Cole Yzerman and Macklin Celebrini, not trying to make the playoffs right now with this group, especially when they got all these injuries. But no, they should be falling down at this point.
Habs feel like a team who at some point, like we talked about the Oilers, at some point the Oilers will just win 7 in a row and be fine. The Habs strike me as a team who at some point will just lose 7 in a row. And don't shake your head when I dream about 7-game winning streaks for the Oilers, Stephen.
I still believe in the Oilers. I still think they're a Stanley Cup contender. Just not yet.
Yeah, not right now. Vibes a little low. Actually, no, vibes are good now in Edmonton. Vibes have been stabilized, is the way we're saying.
Look at us right now. The vibes couldn't be higher.
Non-life-threatening, stable is what we're going with on the vibes right now. Stephen, we always appreciate when you can hop on and we can pick your brain for a little bit. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, guys.
Stephen Ellis is the man, everybody.
Yep. Thanks, Stephen Ellis.
Thanks, Stephen Ellis. You can find his work at dailyfaceoff.com. Appreciate him hopping in on the Star Mechanical guest line.
I thought you were windhorsing me right there. I was very confused.
I like about doing this with Stephen is you go prospects, you go fantasy, you get to take on a few NHL things, and then you're just boom, you're good.
I will say, just to close out the Stephen Ellis talk, Gavin McKenna is the real deal. I have a little Gavin McKenna story for you. I went to a showcase in Calgary. So Gavin McKenna's from like the Northwest Territories or Yukon or something like that. Mm-hmm. So when Stephen's like, he's playing a game, he's from Whitehorse. Stephen says he's playing against nobody that Canada win the games. He's playing against like none of it and everything, right?
Yeah.
But he's also playing with single A players as well.
Yeah.
So I saw him at this showcase, and this kid was a year younger than everyone, and he was not even close. No one was even close to him. It was unbelievable what he was able to do, and he was like top prospects who just went in the draft this past year who were like in that game too. So it was just like he is a crazy, crazy talent. Look out for him.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman with this tweet 16 minutes ago says, I would expect Ernie's replacement to be someone suited for a 4th line role, a veteran player. So we will see what the Oilers end up doing. I am not going to lie.
Are we getting Brad Malone?
If we get Brad Malone, I'm going to be mildly upset. That's not cool. Come on. What are we doing here? You're sitting here watching Vegas go out and load up their bottom 6 with fast, energetic young guys who can score. And we're going to go call up again, Brad Malone. Sure. You can sit there and be like, he's a good 4th liner, reliable, blah, blah.
But he'll be coming to play a 4th line role.
Still, like a modern 4th line can be different.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to be the same way it's always been, like when it was 03 and you're building the Red Wings. Brad Malone has 14 goals in 217 career NHL games. No.
It's not the way to win hockey.
Lane Peterson, I'll live with.
I'd be fine with that. He's 25, 26, whatever.
Yeah, like upside, right shot center. There's enough boxes there. You're going to bring up a left shot Brad Malone, 34 years old, never contributed much at the NHL level. He's had one good moment when he scored that sick goal against Washington like 3 years ago. That's it.
That would be so Edmonton Oilers, wouldn't it, for that to happen?
And he's the captain. You can't make him leave there, right? He's got leadership to do.
Yeah. I'm not there. Tyler Mulick, Malone season, Woodcroft's boy. Yeah. March says veteran, eh? So Gagne. I don't think it's Gagne yet. I don't think he's had enough. Lead up down in Bakersfield. You need more there. He hasn't played hockey in so long.
I agree. What's he played? I think 2 games, maybe 3 now. Like Gagne needs some more work under his legs before he can hop up to the NHL. And they need him. Bakersfield needs Gagne pretty bad.
They need Malone.
Yeah, I thought you said leave him alone.
That too. Leave Gagne alone. I want to see one more Gagne game in an Oilers
Gagne
jersey.
has 5 points in 3 games.
But you go look at the points. Like, I'm not this. He got to
Don't
be in
do
the
it,
position
Liam.
to get the points. But his first point was a slow wrist shot that went off the defender's pads and directed over to Lane Peterson, who tapped into an empty net. Like,
Seems like he has good vision.
They don't ask how.
I love Gagne like everybody else does here, but he doesn't belong in the NHL now. Maybe later on, sure. Maybe I'll get back on that bandwagon a little bit, but I'm out on Gagne coming up.
In the Finning Cat YouTube chat, March said if you bring up Malone, you can add him to the Kulak Brown lookalike contest. Kind of does. He kind of does. You can go look it up on his Hockey DB or whatever.
Dude, I'm looking at a photo right now. You're totally right.
Yeah, he definitely does. So we'll await official word on what the Oilers are doing. Son of a gun, if it's Brad Malone, I'm not going to love it. And I will say, should be an upgrade on Erne. I'll get that out of the way. I think Malone probably gives you a hair more there. But like, again, we're splitting hairs at that point. Just call up Lavoie or call up Peterson. Lane Peterson didn't play the last game. Jason Gregor does say 21 minutes ago, Gagne would be my guess. I don't think they want to recall Lavoie to play on the fourth line. If they're ready to go with Gagne and they think he's good after 3 games, I mean, all the power to you. I would just rather see Sam Gagne get another week of action here is all. So
I would, I'd like to see a lot more from Gagne before we do that.
Yeah. Someone said James Hamblin. I don't see enough there. Similar to Kajula. I know Kajula's hurt, so you can't come up. But like, there's Brad Hamblin he's a quad A guy for me.
James Hamlin.
Sorry, did I call him Brad?
Yeah.
5 points, 5 games, but I agree. He's
a quad A
he's
guy.
Meh.
Yeah, I don't see enough there for him to be impactful in the NHL. Yes, some of you are excited for Malone season potentially. We'll see what happens. Gregor says his guess is Gagne. Daniel Nugent-Bowman says someone on the veteran side of things. We will wait and see. Let's move along to the menu for tonight, and it is delivered by our friends at DoorDash, where our Canadian listeners for a limited time get 25% off and no delivery fees on their first order of $25 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter the promo code NATION25. Tonight in the sports world, just 2 NHL games on tap. You have the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the LA Kings, the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Nashville Predators. The big game to watch in the sporting world, your entree, courtesy of DoorDash, is the World Series. Tonight, 6 o'clock, Diamondbacks on home soil looking to even up the World Series against the Rangers.
2-1 Rangers.
2-1 Rangers right now. That's what you're watching tonight. I'm not that interested in Toronto, LA. Should be a decent game. I'm not even touching it from a betting perspective. So, yeah, it's World Series night for me.
I'll take the night off tonight from betting, I think.
It's not even a good night in the NBA.
Yeah,
Only 3 games.
Nothing good in the NBA tonight.
James Harden debut? No, probably not. It happened at 3 a.m.
No, that James Harden thing is great, though. The trade breaks at like 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Waj would have had the tweet at like 3:30 Eastern or something like that, which is hilarious. Also, the James Harden saga was hilarious in general.
It was special. It's been a special few years for James Harden.
Can you imagine an NHL player doing that? Like Pierre-Luc Dubois politely asked out of a couple of markets, and he got his personality roasted.
Yeah, we were all over him on that one. It wasn't.
Chris Pronger did it once, and people in Edmonton still haven't forgiven him.
Yeah, the NBA is just
a different animal.
Did NFL trade deadline today?
Washington Commanders trading Montez Sweat to the Bears, and then they moved Chase Young to the 49ers, as if the 49ers had to get any better. I mean, I can't believe Washington's unloading 2 guys like that. I know there's contract stuff in there, but
disaster of a franchise too.
It is.
I think they're about to change their name again too. I think it's about to be dark
back.
days.
Yeah, it's brutal. I would hate to be a Commanders fan. My friend's a Commanders fan, and he texted me this morning, and I'll read you what he said. It made me chuckle after seeing what just happened then. But he's like, looking for a new team. Washington just traded their best player for a 2nd-round pick. I said, who's their best player? And he said Chase Young. So, hey, tough one for Kalen today. I hope you're doing okay, buddy. Get through this together.
That is tough
because my team's good.
I also love the NFL compared to the NHL is so funny because like Chase Young was, what was he, 4th overall pick that one year?
Second
overall pick. He gets traded still in the prime of his career for a 3rd rounder. Mm-hmm. You get to the NHL trade deadline and it's like Paul Gaustad goes for a 1st rounder and a high-end prospect. And like the Oilers are out here giving up 3rd round picks for guys like Nick Bukestad. Like it's hilarious to see the difference in the way draft picks are valued, but I understand why, obviously.
Yeah, it is. We'll see. I think there's an hour and 10 minutes left for.
I really want the Bills to go get a cornerback, but
the Lions need to do something too.
Yeah. Good dub for your Lions on Monday night. Felt good.
I can't believe the score was so low for them. Mm-hmm. They just couldn't do anything in the red zone.
Yeah.
But
Jimmy Garoppolo, rough game. Devontae Adams smashing his helmet on the side. It's a rough go for Jimmy. I have no
sympathy for Devontae Adams. He did this to himself.
Yeah, you want to force your way to Vegas and then whatever. You still get to live in Vegas, so you're good. You're fine, dude.
Well, he thought he was going to be playing with Derek Carr, to be fair.
Which also was stupid of him because he had Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Yeah. I take my chances.
Yeah. All right. Our bets for tonight. I had a miserable day yesterday. I took the under in Arizona, Houston. Yeah. But I have a shot prop I like today. Over on Betway, Quinn Hughes, 2.5 shots, paying like -120. I believe he's hit this mark in 8 of their 9 games so far this season. He's been at 4 or 5 shots, never mind just 3 in a handful of their last games. Quinn Hughes shot prop is my play tonight.
That's a good one. I'm just trying to pull it up here, but I'm going to give you a futures bet for the NFL. That's where I'm at with my gamble. Are you okay?
Okay, tell me more.
That looked very intriguing when you were taking those glasses off.
I want to know more.
Okay, let me pull it up
Look
here
me
as
in the
I'm
eyes.
loading it. The AFC North.
Okay.
The Cincinnati Bengals are plus 350 to win the division. They haven't played Baltimore yet, I don't think. I think they have the best team in that division. So I'm gonna advise everyone to go lay some groundwork on Cincinnati Bengals.
What's payout?
Plus 350.
That's a decent payout.
It's pretty good for a proven team.
Shout out to Betway 19 plus.
I got one tonight.
Oh, you got a bet
that I think people should. You know me, I'm a basketball guy. A
Yeah.
lot of you aren't. But the Phoenix Suns play tonight. Devin Booker's out. Bradley Beal is out. KD over everything. He's the only one left to play. 4 games into the year, and they're already dropping like flies. So KD. Betway.
That's the NBA for you. All right. New episode of Oilers Nation Radio going to drop this afternoon. We have a long time until it's a short 4 Giant game day, though. We still got another show tomorrow, but at least Frank Saravalli will be stopping by. And then finally, Thursday, Oilers Stars down at Rogers Place. I can't believe they gave them 3 days off. That's so long.
I know. I kind of forgot about this part of the season where they have a few days.
Yeah.
We have to think of content for like 2. Yesterday was easy.
Yeah, because we were Heritage Classic.
Heritage Classic, you grind through that. Today was like, okay.
Today was easy. Look at us.
Tomorrow, Frank's going to have to carry us a little bit, I think.
14 games in the month of November, though, for the Oilers.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I like.
There's going to be a lot of pre-gaming and after dark this month, people.
So hit that subscribe button on the Oilers Nation YouTube. Dacky wants to know how hard Erne is sweating in his Santa costume. Dad?
Boys. I'm always a sweaty guy, and let's just say right here I can feel a rash already coming out. But the commitment to the bit.
It's all about the commitment to the bit. Halloween plans tonight?
Hand out candy. I love handing out the candy. It's I've been living on my own now for 3 years. The first year nobody came. So last year was awesome, and now this will be the 3rd year. So it's fun.
Yeah, that's always good to see the costumes kids wear. I'll be handing out candy too. Aaron, what are you doing?
I got a question. So I'm handing out candy. So I bought boxes of the miniature candies, whatever. Yeah. And then I bought an extra box with the full-size ones. And I'm going to give those out to the costumes I like the most. Is that rude?
No.
Does that mean?
Yeah,
am I playing favorites?
Some people
because like in front of one kid, I'm gonna go. Yours isn't as good. You get it. Is that mean?
Oh, you're
is
judging
that mean?
them hard. I think you got to judge the group as a whole.
Yeah.
Reward a good group, but
because I already bought the big ones, but I can't just give out big ones.
Fair.
I'm on a budget. Santa's on a budget. Okay.
For me tonight, I have a beer league game on Halloween. Brutal.
Oh.
Who decided that?
You get candy?
Well, yeah, I'll probably have a couple. We also our goalie's not coming. So if anyone listening to this is a average to above average beer league goaltender, shoot me a DM on Twitter.
This is the best place to advertise for that, honestly. It's pretty good.
Full on shameless plug. My Div 6 beer league team needs a goalie tonight on Halloween. So if you're a goalie and you're watching this, hit me up on Twitter. I might be giving you the call. I have one guy right now who said maybe, but that's not good enough. Can't trust him.
No, not even maybe.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know.
Clearly doesn't want to.
DM me if you're a beer league goalie in the Edmonton area. All right, that is a wrap on today's edition of Oilers Nation Every Day. Quickly, shout out to our friends at DoorDash, Alberta Blue Cross, Greta, Sherwood Ford, The Giant, Sports Closet for the Sports Closet Studio, Star Mechanical, Finning Cat, and Wendy's. We are launching our new game with Wendy's over at Daily Faceoff soon. It's so close to happening. But in the meantime, you can go have the very real barbecue bacon cheeseburger at Wendy's. That cheese oozing over fresh, never frozen Canadian beef. That's the sound I make when I have one.
ASMR in the mic.
Go.
Yum, 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 yum. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks, everybody, for playing along today on the show. We'll be back tomorrow with Frank Saravalli, 12:01 Mountain Time.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit Oilersnation.com.